Today on What It's Like, 1968 Mercury Comet. But before getting into all of it, I'm Jay. Welcome to What It's Like. This channel is so much more than walking around a car with music. We feature the lost and forgotten classics, vintage, some exotics, loads of orphan cars, and cars that tend to get lost in the shuffle. If that sounds like a channel that you will totally dig, subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. If you've been looking for a 68 Mercury Comet, you're in luck. This one is currently for sale at Classic Auto Mall, Morgantown, Pennsylvania. For those outside the know, Classic Auto Mall is the largest auto consignment dealership in the northeastern part of the United States, with over 870 cars for sale when recording this episode. And get this, anybody can go. It doesn't cost anything to get in. For more information and pricing, pictures pertaining to this 1968 Mercury Comet, click the link below after the show. Let's talk 1968 Mercury. 1968 Mercury model lineup. These aren't in any particular order. Cyclone, Montego, Monterey, Montclair, Park Lane, Marquis, Cougar, Wagons, and then there was the Comet. Mercury offered the Comet from 1960 to 1969, and then they took a bit of a break and brought it back in 71 to 77. From 60 to 61, it was known as just the Comet, and the rest of the production run, it was known as the Mercury Comet. And there is a whole backstory to this that ties in with the Edsel brand, and we are going to cover all of it when we do a 60 Comet. Just letting you know, we're not covering it in this show. We're going to cover it when we do a 60 Comet. Anyway, Mercury offered the Comet in 5 generations. 1968 falls in the 4th generation, which had a production run from 68 to 69. 68, 69. Going back to the 67, just to show you how much the design changed by 68. 68 loses the stacked headlights and for a more traditional front-end look design with black and chrome contrasting grille, which I am a huge fan of. Very clean lines. 68 Comet only came in one body design, 2-door sports coupe. Mercury Comet's sister car was the Ford Fairlane. Both were considered mid-size cars in 1968. Mercury Comet competed with, so this is a very weird, the Mercury Comet's a very weird market segment. With a price tag of $2,477, it could compete with the AMC Javelin, which was only a couple $100 more, Dodge Swinger, and the Chevy Corvair. They were all in the same price range. Let's talk specs. 206.1 inches long, 76 inches wide. It rides a wheelbase of 116 inches. It weighs 3,197 pounds. Price, $2,477, which is equivalent to you spending $21,125.46 in the year 2023. Total 1968 Mercury production was 113,720 units, of which total Comet production was 16,693. Moving on to engines. All right, there's a ton of engines on offer for 1968 for this car. I got all of this information from automobilecatalog.com, so if you wanted to go back and see any other specs, they are a great source for information for these cars. The only downer is I couldn't find any RPM figures or bore and stroke figures. So starting in the basement, 200 cubic inch displacement, inline 6, 3.3 liters. It makes 115 horsepower, 190 pound-feet of torque. When mated to a 3-speed manual transmission, 0 to 60 could be had in 15.5 seconds. Theoretical top speed is 93 miles per hour. Average fuel consumption is 16.4 miles to the gallon. Moving to the next engine, 302 cubic inch displacement V8, 5 liters. It's good for 210 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. When mated to a 3-speed manual transmission, 0 to 60 could be had in 8.8 seconds. Theoretical top speed, 115 miles per hour, 13.8 miles to the gallon. Next engine on offer is just another flavor of the 302. It was marketed as the Super 302. Cubic inch displacement V8, 5 liters, makes 230 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 when mated to the 3-speed manual transmission is 8.2 seconds. Theoretical top speed is 119 miles per hour. while achieving a average fuel economy rating of 13.6 miles to the gallon. Moving up the ladder, 390 cubic inch displacement V8, 6.4 liters, makes 265 horsepower, 300 pound-feet of torque when mated to a 3-speed manual transmission, 0 to 60, 7.7 seconds. Theoretical top speed, 122 miles per hour. Average fuel economy, 11.4 miles to the gallon. Moving up to the next 390, which was the GT cubic inch displacement V8, 6.4 liters, 325 horsepower, 427 foot-pounds of torque, 0 to 60, 6.7 seconds. Theoretical top speed, 131 miles per hour, 10.9 miles to the gallon, and that's when mated to a 3-speed manual transmission. Moving to the biggest and baddest engines, 427 cubic inch displacement V8, 7 liters. It's good for 390 horsepower, 460 foot-pounds of torque when mated to the 3-speed automatic Mercury 0 to 60 could be had in 6 seconds. Theoretical top speed 132 miles per hour while achieving an 8.4 miles to the gallon average. Last engine on offer was 428 cubic inch displacement, 7 liters. It's good for 335 horsepower, 445 pound-feet of torque when mated to the Mercury 3-speed automatic 0 to 60, 6.5 seconds. Theoretical top speed 130 miles per hour. Average fuel economy, 8.5 miles to the gallon. Transmissions on offer. Mercury offered the Mercury 3-speed automatic, 3-speed manual, as well as a 4-speed manual.
Let's talk styling. I always loved the styling of these cars. I love the fact that this just looks like a wraparound grille and how it comes back. I love that aspect of it. Nice Mercury badge there. Check out these lines that come down the hood, how this is kind of pushed up. This car has some really nice lines. Also, check out how this kind of like swoops up to a point here and how it's pointed here. Nice marker lights there. Just check out how this is ever so slightly flanged outward, but then it tucks back into the body right there. I love this. That's so cool. Look at this chrome piece, how it comes back around up to the top here. It doubles as the drip rail. Not the chrome piece. The chrome piece might not be chrome, it might be stainless, but it covers up that drip rail. Just look at all these lines. These are really rare. I've never seen one in person except for this one. I've seen them in pictures, and I've always was like, man, I can't wait to see one in person one day, and here we are. Gas goes in here. And getting inside. So this door, it's got a little bit of heft to it. I'm gonna take a step back so you can see how big it is. It's a pretty decent sized door, all things considered. Let's take a look at this door panel. Up at the top, it feels like plastic, but it's actually like a painted steel. The door cards feel like vinyl. This is an armrest and or door handle to pull the door shut. This is the door handle to get out. Operates like that. Here's the window crank for the big window. And it operates like this. And just check out, it's all trimmed out. But it's not very thick. Look how thin the window is, and it's also curved. Look at these mirrors. They almost don't look factory. They're just really rectangular. It could be factory, could be aftermarket. In the comment section below if you know. Inside the pedal box, high beam indicator on the floor where it should be, in my opinion. This is the emergency brake and or parking brake. Brake release. This is for a vent That's down here in the floor. This is for the passenger side vent that is also down there in the floor. Blows nice cold air from outside down at your feet. Clutch, brake, gas pedal. Notice how small these pedals are. They're pretty small. There's my hand for reference. Take a look at what this interior looks like. So that's what the door sounds like when you shut it. Here is what over the hood looks like. Here's what first person looks like. This is a nice thin steering wheel. I really like this steering wheel. It's nice. It feels really good in your hands. This is what under the steering wheel looks like. We're size 34 pants, and the reason I say that is because if you wear the same size pants as I do, you will fit in this car perfectly. If you wear a little bit bigger size pants, you will fit in here 36, 40. You should be fine. And I only say that just to give you an idea of how big you are, if this car will fit you, because if you don't fit in the car, you can't drive it, right?
On to the button switches and knobs. 5 pods sitting directly in front of the driver, starting with the very first pod on the left-hand side. Amp meter, water temperature, brake, light, as well as oil pressure, which are all idiot lights. Fuel gauge right next to it. Headlights and wiper/wash feature located just below that. Speedometer with odometer just below that. At the top, it is being flanked by both the left and the right turn signal indicators. The next one is blank. That one's for the clock. Heat and ventilation controls, ignition, lighter, and ashtray.
Up above, there's some sun visors, and notice it's cut out for the rear view mirror, so you could have both of these sun visors down and still be able to see out the rear view mirror, which is a really nice feature. This rear view mirror has daytime, nighttime feature, which is flippable here from the back. Coming down here, ashtray, lighter. On to the glove box test. Here's our test subject. Here is my hand for reference. Here is our glove box in question. It's not gonna fit. It's almost like a mail slot, that one is. But yeah, so it doesn't fit in the glove box. Getting in the rear seat, this seat has a seat lock, so you have to pull up on that and then push this forward. But notice how much it pivots out of the way, giving you plenty of access to get back there. So here's what the front looks like from the back. Let's take a gander at the greenhouse. Looking out the back, that's what the back view looks like from the back seat. There's a nice big shelf as well. Here's what the seat profile looks like. It's a very upright seat back here, and the seat cushion dips down way back here. So consequently, your knees rise up. Like, here's my knees in reference to the back of the chair. There's my knee space. I have negative knee space. Up here, there are coat hooks. There's a coat hook there, as well as a coat hook on the other side. Nice dome light in the center. Armrest right there. It's a bit on the small side, but it's adequate. These windows do go down, and they are also trimmed out just like the front ones. Interesting how that goes down. This is what I look like in the back seat. I got tons of headroom. The only downer is there's not a whole lot of space back here, and like I said, the seat cushion kind of dips down in the back, so it makes your knees jut up. But other than that, it is kind of comfortable. It's just it's a little bit weird, the seating position. Coming to the under the hood section, the hood popper is right here, right in the center, right underneath the emblem here. And just pick up on the hood. It's moderately heavy. It's not the heaviest thing that I've picked up all day, but it's pretty substantial. Just check that out. 390 cubic inch displacement. Here's the windshield washer reservoir. It's got a dual master cylinder, no power brakes, electric wipers. Look at how small that battery is in comparison to the size of the engine.
On to the pros and cons. Shocker, this one is not in the complete book of collectible cars. So I've compiled a list of my own based on my personal observations. On the positive side, styling has aged well, and I personally love the front end treatment. Rare. If you turn up at a car show with this car, you're more than likely be the only one that has it. Cons, rust prone and can be thirsty with bigger engines. All right, now it's time for Name That Tune. First person to give me the correct band as well as the name of the song. First one to do both correctly will have their comment pinned to the top of the comment section. That song is from 1968. If you'd like to get in touch with me, shoot me a comment in the comment section below, or check out our Facebook group that correlates with this YouTube channel. The link will be in the description if you'd like to check it out. So if I catch you on here or on Facebook, just know that I appreciate everything. And until next time, well, wait a second. Here are some scenes for our next episode. 1953 Buick Skylark convertible. I can't wait to share this one. This one was absolutely epic with the sculpted sides. That's what's coming up next on What It's Like. And until then, toodaloo!